From the car park, come out onto the main road and turn to your right. So we're going to start this walk with a warm-up, starting at a nice easy pace. And go over the level crossing. And as we come through into the coach park, which will be on your right hand side, you should see a gate or a gap with a parking sign on it that will take you onto a track for pedestrians. Now be aware that there is vehicle access for one of the houses up here, but there shouldn't be that much traffic on this route. Carry on straight ahead, still maintaining that easy pace. And let's just take a minute to check in with our posture and set our intention for the walk. So let's keep those shoulders round back and down. Have a wee look at the thumbs. Are they pointed forwards? We want the thumbs pointed forwards, and we want the shoulders, the swing at the shoulders to be back and forth. So arms swinging back and forth. The crown of your head lifted up towards the sky, so imagining a string attached to the crown of your head, pulling you up nice and tall, creating space through your spine. Now into the feet. Have a think about the feet and the movement through the feet. We're looking for a heel strike, a roll through the foot, and a gentle push off the toe. And it is just a warm up at the moment, so we are looking just for that gentle push off the toe. And now that you've got all that set, we're going to carry on straight ahead. Now on these walks I give a scale of effort, and that scale is from 1 to 10. 1 being no effort at all, and 10 being extremely exhausted. And I'm going to keep you on this scale, and I'm going to give you guidelines about where you should be at any given time and what to aim for. So at the moment, we want to aim for somewhere around a 3. So the heart rate might elevate very slightly, but not too much. And you should still very much be able to carry out a conversation with ease. And we want to sustain that round about the 3 or the 4, maybe, just for a little while, until we start to warm up and get the body ready for what's to come. So in this walk, there will be a few slopes, inclines, and there will be opportunities to get your heart rate up a little, to increase the intensity, and to develop your fitness while you're out walking. Carrying on straight ahead. Now you should be seeing that you're coming up to a gate. We're going to pass through that gate, so you don't want to take any turns off of this path. You're going straight ahead. Heading for the gate. So not the gate on your left, we want the gate straight ahead. Excellent, well done. Keep going, just at that pace. Where are you on your scale? Are you still managing to maintain yourself around about a 3 or a 4? If you're fairly new to walking, or you've been doing the beginner walks for a long time and you're just ready to take it to the next level, maybe into improver sort of walk, then you might find that your heart rate is a bit more elevated, maybe than the 3 or the 4, and if that's the case, you can just bring the pace down a little bit. Get that heart rate back down. We can bring it up later, there'll be time for that, don't worry. But for now, we're just getting into the zone. So if you haven't been to this park before, we're walking along the road at the moment, so quite a busy road, a lot of noise, but there will be opportunities as we go along on the walk, just to get a bit more of a peaceful, quiet area, so we won't be adjacent to the road the whole time. The tracks underfoot are typical countryside tracks. There will be muddy in places, they might be slippery with leaves. And that's the kind of conditions that you should expect, so come with good footwear. And speaking of footwear, if you're ever wondering what the best kind of footwear is when you're walking, it's a flexible shoe. So a flexible shoe is the best. It gives you plenty of room to make that push off of the toe and get that lovely roll through the foot, which goes on to enhance the muscle recruitment and the movement patterns further up the body. However, you really want to be walking for comfort, so if your flexible shoe happens to not be particularly waterproof and you're walking on a wet day, then perhaps leather boots might be the way to go for that walk. Not as flexible, not as much mobility, but you might find that it's more suitable for the conditions on any given walk. So it's a judgment call. We're walking along straight ahead. Now you might be coming up to an underpass on your right hand side. You want to pass that by, we do not want to go under it. So pass by that underpass and carry on straight ahead. Now you might be feeling a bit warmer. And that's great, that's certainly the aim. And we're just going to carry on at the warm-up pace just for a wee bit longer. We're going to be heading up towards a wee stone building, a ducat. Once we get to that, we can start to change our pace. But for now, we're going to stay with our warm-up pace, around a 3 or a 4 on that scale. Carrying on straight ahead. Let's make some posture checks. Is the crown of the head pulled up towards the sky? Are your shoulders back and down? Thumbs pointed forwards, arms swinging freely back and forth by your sides. And are you getting the roll through the foot? Now the roll through the foot, it takes a bit of concentration because not everybody walks with a roll through the foot. Some people can walk fairly flat-footed, though they don't really strike with the heel. There's certainly not a pronounced strike. So what you might want to do, if it's hard to think about what both feet are doing at the same time, you can think about one foot and then the other. So think about the left, for example. Think about as you strike with the heel, roll through the foot and push off the toe. And just keep your attention focused on the left-hand foot, the left-hand side. Once you're comfortable that you've got that, and you're getting a good roll through, then move your attention to the right hand side and start to think about the heel and the roll through and the toe push. And once you're comfortable with that, then you can maybe start to think about both together, but I find it can help to break it down side by side. The main reason that we want to get a push off the toes and a roll through the foot is because it allows us to contract more muscles in the body. So more through the calf, more through the glutes, and it gives us an overall better movement pattern, but it encourages us to activate muscles that we don't tend to activate as often as we should, and they tend to be a bit switched off a lot of the time, particularly if we spend a lot of time sitting at a desk, driving, if we're maybe a wee bit sedentary, more than we'd like to be. So pushing off the toe and getting that roll through the foot can certainly just start to switch on muscles that we need to keep our hips and our feet healthy. Carrying on straight ahead. Still the 3 or the 4. You might have creeped up, and if you have, and if you want to go a wee bit faster, that's fine. So perhaps you're going faster than me, in which case you might be reaching landmarks first. And if you are, you might be just wanting to hang around at that landmark, so it could be a building, it could be a junction. You never just want to hang around at that landmark for a bit and let me catch up. And if I am walking faster than you, then you can pause. When I get to a landmark, you can pause until you catch up, and then you can just resume the audio. There aren't many benches along this route. There are some, but not too many. So this maybe isn't a suitable walk if you are someone who needs to take regular breaks. Maybe you want to check out some of my other walks. Some of the beginner walks, for example, do have lots of seats, but this one not so much. But certainly if you need to stop and take a break at any time, just pause and come back. Now you should be picking up views of a stone building on the right hand side. That's the Ducat. And we're going to make our way towards that. And when we get there, you of course can stop. If you want to sort of pause it, you can stop, catch your breath, get a drink, whatever you need to do. I am going to continue on. And just as I get past the Ducat and around the corner to the left here, I'm just going to, well, it's not a corner, it's not a turn, it's just a rounding of the corner as it turns to the left. I'm going to start picking up my pace. So I'm going to start pushing more off my toes. And this is where it's great to practice the roll through and the toe push in the warm-up, because now the feet are ready. Now they're ready to push. And I'm going to start picking up my pace. So I've got a longer stride. As I say, more of a toe push. And I'm going to start walking a bit faster. And I'm going to aim to bring my heart rate up round about a 6. Now, you maybe passed a wee sort of triangular shaped junction on your left. We want to pass that, so we're going to stay to the right. As you round the corner, we're rounding the corner to the right. You see a wee pond, a wee suds pond behind the fence here on your right hand side. These are just guides to let you know that you're on the right path. If in doubt at all, then look at the associated map. And both combined should hopefully make sure that you're in the right place. How's the posture? Hard to think about all the things at the same time, but the more we do them, the more they become a habit. How the shoulders? Have the thumbs stayed pointed forwards? Or have your palms rotated to face your thighs? If they have, just check in with the thumbs again. Just pull your shoulders back, set them down, and have those thumbs pointed forwards. Well done. We want to avoid having that internally rotated shoulder, because that reduces the amount of space that the tendons and the nerves have to move within that shoulder joint. So that's why I encourage you to have the shoulders back and have the thumbs pointed forwards. That's going to put the shoulder into a more neutral position, gives more space and within the shoulder for that movement. Now looking straight ahead, you'll see that the woodland changes. We go from a sort of more open woodlandy sort of area, and you see that we're changing into more pine trees. Now just before we get to those pine trees, we're going to cut off to the left over a bridge. So again, once you get to the bridge, you might just want to check your map, make sure you're in the right place. Carrying on, keep the intensity where it is. Here we turn off to the left, over the bridge, and carrying on that path. I'm going to maintain the intensity around about a 6, maybe a 7. Keep the pace brisk. Well done. Carry on. Let's add in something else. Let's think about what the core muscles are doing, shall we? The core muscles are important for creating stability in the spine. And as we're walking along, we want to just be thinking about gently pulling the belly button towards the spine. So not really holding it tightly, certainly not to the point where you can't breathe, or that you can't breathe nice and naturally. But you just want to pull it in about a third of the way. I like to think about it that I'm maybe trying to put a belt on and I'm trying to tighten through the holes in the belt. Or sometimes it helps to think, if you had a little kid running at you head first and you're ready to brace yourself for that impact, how would you pull your core in? That's the way I like to think about it. So we're just bracing the core, and that's going to keep the spine in line. Good, well done. Keep going. Still with the toe push. Another way to think about the toe push, and the way we do in Nordic walking, is we talk about squeezing the lemons. And that's where if you cut the lemon in half, put it under the ball of your foot, you imagine that you're pressing all your weight down to squeeze the juice out of that lemon. So that's where that term comes from, squeezing the lemons, and that's one I do use in Nordic walking, and perhaps that will work for you. Another analogy that I like to use is about ice skating. Imagine you're ice skating, and to propel yourself across the ice, you have to push off with your toe. Now, these may help you, they may not. But ultimately, we want to find a way to push off through the ball of the foot and push off with the toes to increase that speed, increase that stride, or lengthen out that stride. Where's your heart rate? Where are you on the scale? Now, if you're taking this at a slower pace, which is fine, in which case you might just need to be pausing the audio. But if you are taking it at a slower pace, then maybe you are down about a 4. And that's okay, because this is something that you can build up to gradually. But if you're finding that this is too much for you and you are really struggling to keep up, then I would recommend maybe trying out one of the more intermediate walks. As we come up to the junction, we're going to turn to the left. And keep on in this path. I can definitely feel my heart rate has elevated. That still doesn't stop me carrying out a conversation. I can still easily carry out a conversation, maybe a bit more laboured now. And I maybe have to just take deeper breaths. So while I can carry out a conversation, I couldn't necessarily sing a song. And that's what we're aiming for. That's another good way to test your intensity, your level of intensity. Now you might just be starting to pick up views of a wee cottage just slightly ahead and to the right. Again, that just lets you know that you're on the right path. Check in with your feet again. Are you striking with the heel? Or have you gone back to a flat-footed position? Really pull the toes back towards the shins. That in itself is going to help us create some flexibility through the ankle. We'll very soon be coming to a crossroads, and at the crossroads you can stop, you can have a break. Of course, if you're getting to the crossroad first before me, then you might just want to march on the spot, do something to stop yourself from cooling down. And of course, if I'm getting there first, you might just need to pause the audio until you catch up. Almost at the crossroads. Keep going. Now as you come to the crossroads, we're going to come down to our left. Now again, just to check in to let you know that you're on the right path. On this path on the left hand side, you're just about to come to a piece of green machinery that's just set into the side off of the path. An old grubber. I think it was something that used to pull tree roots out of the ground. So if you've passed that, or you're coming up on it, then you know that you're in the right place. And there's also a wee bench here if you do need to take a bit of a rest. One of the few benches on this particular route. So go ahead and grab it now if you need to. Pause the audio and come back when you're ready. But otherwise, if you're with me, carrying on the walk. Crown of the head pulled up towards the sky. Core engaged. Thumbs forward, shoulders, or arms swinging freely from the shoulders, thumbs forwards. Rolling through the foot, heel through to toe. Well done, you're doing a really good job, keep it up. And as you're walking along, just take the time to enjoy the views. We're carrying on the path. We don't want to turn off to the left. There is a junction, but we want to carry on past that. So we're keeping right. Right then you're on the scale. Now, truth be told, I think I've dropped down. I think I'm down about a 5 or a 6. So that tells me that I need to pick up my pace. I need to increase my intensity. So it's easy done when you get lost in thought, lost in the scenery. But just bring your attention back to the intensity. Trying to increase the heart rate, lengthen the stride. There we go, that's it coming back up now. How about you? Are you getting that? Well done, keep it going. Now you should just be starting to pick up the river on your right hand side. Again, this is just a wee check to let you know that you're in the right place. And you should be seeing straight ahead a stone bridge that we're just about to cross. At the stone bridge, we're going straight ahead. We're not turning off to the left, we're going straight ahead. Keep the pace up. Heart rate, my heart rate is elevated again, so I have pushed myself back up there, back up to the 6, the 7. And that's where I'm hanging around for a while. I'm happy to do that just now. As you push off the toe, just have an awareness of what's happening in the glutes. Let's cross this bridge, straight ahead. As you push off the toe, you might notice that the muscles in the bum are contracting, and that's what we want. That's what happens as we take that leg out behind the body. The muscles squeeze, and of course the stronger the muscles they are, the more propulsion that we will get, and the healthier the hips are. So we want to be walking at this pace to get that hip extension that's going to allow us to strengthen the endurance of the glutes, or the fibres that are responsible for the endurance of the glutes. Because we want our glutes to be able to take us on long walks eventually over time. Same with the calves. As you push off the toe, the calves will contract. The calf muscles will contract to propel you forwards. So we want good, strong calf muscles that can take us on long walks. Keep it going. The river's still on your right hand side. Keep the pace up. Now just in the distance, just slightly ahead, you'll be coming up towards the ford that crosses the river on your right hand side, and just next to that a bridge. So at that crossing point, we're going to turn to the left, but for now we're just making our way up towards that. So carrying on straight ahead, towards the bridge, towards the ford. Still maintaining the pace, still at a 6, maybe a 7. So these are not strolls, these are designed to improve your fitness, to get you walking faster and for longer. As you reach the ford, we're going to carry on round to the left, which will take you away from the river. And a very, very slight incline now. Keep up nice and tall on any inclines. We'll talk more about that in just a moment or two. But keeping the crown of the head pulled up towards the sky. That's going to keep the muscles in the back of the body switched on, which is what we're looking for. So stay up nice and tall, but still remaining with the push through the toe to keep your intensity up. And of course any incline is going to add to that intensity. Which is what we want when we're trying to get a bit fitter. We want to push ourselves out of that comfort zone, because change doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Change only happens when you start to push yourself slightly outside of it. Keep going, following along this path. And just up ahead, you're going to start to pick up openings in the trees. And the opening that we're looking for is the first one. It's very wide. It's on the left hand side, a wide grassy opening. It's going to take you up to the top of a hill. So from the bottom of the hill, you should be able to see directly up to the top. That's the one that we're going to take. Now, it's not a particularly even surface. Horses do use this, so there are a few potholes in it. Right, here we go. So now you can see big, wide, grassy slope. You should be able to see a clear view all the way up to the top. Now on this, I want you still maintaining that toe push. I still want you with a nice straight spine, crown of the head, looking up towards the sky. And this is where we might get our intensity up to about an 8. But even if we're keeping it around about 6 or 7, I'm happy with that. But if you can get it up to an 8, then that's fine. So we want to quicken the pace, as long as you feel it's safe to do so with the conditions underfoot. And you'll hear my heart rate has come up. I'm breathing heavier. Definitely find it more of a challenge now to talk to you. That's it, keep going, making your way to the top. Keep that intensity up. Last push, come on. Can you push off those toes even harder now? Keep the arms fine going, keep the spine tall, don't be tempted to lean into the hill, because that's what's going to switch off your muscles in the back of your body. Oh, and as we get to the top, you might want to just stop and take a breather. So here's the tricky bit. Let's try and get our bearings. So from the track that you've just walked up, you want to take the 4th slope down, the 4th opening in the trees down. So from the direction that you've just come up, the loch will be sort of behind you and maybe slightly to the right. And if it's a clear day, the one that we want to go down has got clear views of Arran. So have a wee look at the map if you're in any doubt about which route that we're taking. So let's start on that slope. Let's start on our way down. I'm going to slow it down here, just for safety's sake, because again, it's a bit rutted with horses and there is a bit of debris that's fallen off the trees. So as you come down, I want you just to slightly sink your weight into your heels and maintain a nice soft knee. The crown of the head is still pulled up towards the sky and the core muscles are still engaged. But we are slowing it down now because we've actually just come into the cool down section of our walk and we're very shortly going to be back at the car park. Nice and easy, nice and slow. And take this moment just to congratulate yourself for a good walk, a good paced walk. And just to breathe. So let's just regulate our breathing. If your breathing has been up because you were at an 8 on that scale, let's take a moment to bring it back down. So you want to breathe in through the nose if you can, filling your stomach, pushing the air into your stomach, imagining your stomach is like a balloon and you're filling it full of air, and then exhaling if you can slowly through your nose, if not your nose then through your mouth. Exhale slowly. And again, inhale deeply. Fill your lungs. And then slowly exhale. Full exhale. Well done. Take as many of those as you need. And as you come to the foot of the slope, it starts to flatten out. You're just shortly about to start picking up the path again, and when you do, we're going to take the left. You'll be able to see the car park now. Still at that cool down pace. Nice and slow, nice and relaxed. Still with the breathing. And as we turn to the left, now that we've reached the path, we're going to make our way through the gate. And at the gate we're going to turn right, which will take us back into the car park and back to the starting point. I really hope you've enjoyed your walk today, and I hope you join me again for some more if you check out my other walks. It would be lovely to see you.